The stage lights blaze brighter than anything they have ever known. Three Filipino siblings from Manila, now struggling to survive in Dublin, Ireland, step slowly onto the audition stage. Their movements are hesitant, almost apologetic, as if they are afraid to take up too much space. The audience notices their worn jackets, the faded fabric stitched and restitched over time. These are not costumes, they are the only clothes they own that still look presentable. Behind the smiles they try to force, fear trembles in their eyes. For years, they have lived in a single damp room near the edge of the city, working cleaning jobs late into the night and singing on cold street corners to afford meals. Tonight, they are far from Manila's crowded alleys, yet the weight of poverty follows them onto this stage. The judges study them carefully. One judge raises an eyebrow, clearly skeptical. Another leans back with folded arms, unsure what to expect. A third judge glances at the clock, already thinking this audition may end quickly. The room feels heavy with doubt. The siblings introduce themselves in soft voices. The eldest explains how they left the Philippines chasing survival, not fame. "We sing because it keeps us alive," he says, gripping the microphone with shaking hands. The youngest sibling swallows hard, struggling to fight tears before they even begin. The audience remains silent, not out of cruelty, but uncertainty. The siblings take their places, exchange one final glance filled with fear and hope, and inhale deeply. In that breath lies their past, their pain, and the fragile dream that this stage might finally hear them. The silence after their introduction feels longer than it should. The judges do not smile. One judge leans forward, tapping a pen against the desk, studying the siblings like a difficult puzzle. Another judge exhales slowly, arms crossed, eyes narrowed. The third judge shifts uncomfortably, clearly unconvinced. "So," one judge finally says, breaking the quiet, "you're living in Ireland now, but you came here with nothing." His tone is firm, almost challenging. The eldest sibling nods. "Yes, sir. We share one room. We clean offices at night." A judge tilts her head. "And you believe this stage is the right place for you?" Her question sounds polite, but doubt sits beneath every word. The middle sibling grips the microphone tighter. "We don't have another place," he replies honestly. A low murmur spreads through the audience. The youngest sibling stares at the floor, shoulders trembling. One judge sighs and rubs his forehead. "We hear sad stories every day," he says bluntly. "This competition is about talent, not sympathy." The words hit like a slap. The siblings exchange glances, pain flickering across their faces. A finger hovers dangerously close to the red buzzer. The camera zooms in on the judge's hands, ready to end the audition before it begins. "Why should we listen to you?" the judge asks sharply. The eldest sibling takes a deep breath, voice barely steady. "Because music is the only thing that never left us, not in Manila, not in Ireland." The room stills. The judges lean back, unconvinced but curious. The signal is given. The music cue appears. The siblings close their eyes, knowing this moment will decide everything. The moment the music begins, something in the room shifts. A soft instrumental hum fills the air, simple and fragile, like a heartbeat. The eldest sibling sings the first note, low, controlled, and filled with quiet pain. It is not loud, not dramatic, but it demands attention. The audience leans forward instinctively. The middle sibling joins next, his voice raw and trembling, carrying the weight of cold nights spent singing on Dublin's streets. Their harmonies intertwine effortlessly, as if shaped by years of survival rather than practice rooms. Then the youngest steps in, her voice clear and haunting, cutting straight through the silence. A collective gasp ripples through the theater. The judges freeze. One judge's pen slips from his fingers and clatters onto the desk. Another judge's skeptical expression softens, eyebrows lifting in disbelief. The judge who nearly pressed the buzzer slowly pulls his hand away, staring at the stage as if he has just been awakened. The lyrics speak of hunger, homesickness, and hope, of leaving Manila's narrow streets for a foreign land where dreams feel distant but still alive. Each word feels lived, not rehearsed. Tears begin to form in the eyes of audience members. A woman in the front row presses her hand to her mouth, shaking her head in awe. As the song builds, the siblings' fear disappears. Their shoulders straighten. Their voices grow stronger, filling the room with undeniable truth. This is no longer an audition, it is a confession, a prayer, a fight for dignity. By the final note, the entire theater is silent. No applause yet. Just stunned breathless disbelief. The judges exchange glances, realizing they have just witnessed something they will never forget. For a brief second after the final note fades, the judges remain frozen. No one speaks. Then one judge slowly rises from his chair, placing a hand over his chest as if trying to steady his breath. His eyes are glossy, his voice barely audible. I don't know what to say, he whispers. Another judge wipes her cheeks, visibly struggling to hold back tears. You walked in here so quietly, she says, standing up, but what you just did was louder than anything I've heard this season. Her hands tremble as she presses them against the desk, overwhelmed by emotion. The judge who nearly rejected them earlier shakes his head in disbelief. His tough expression completely breaks. I was wrong, he admits openly, his voice cracking. This wasn't an audition. This was a life story sung from the soul. Tears stream freely down his face as the audience begins to applaud. The clapping grows louder, spreading like thunder through the hall. The crowd rises to its feet, cheering and shouting. The siblings stand frozen, unsure if this reaction is real. The youngest covers her mouth, eyes wide, tears spilling over. Suddenly, the female judge slams her hand down on the desk. Bang! The golden buzzer echoes through the room. Golden confetti explodes from above, raining down like a miracle. The siblings collapse into each other, sobbing uncontrollably as the stage turns gold. The judges rush forward. One embraces the eldest sibling tightly. You didn't just sing, he says through tears. You survived. And tonight, the world heard you. The audience roars louder than ever, clapping through tears as the siblings fall to their knees beneath the golden rain. No longer invisible, no longer doubted. The golden confetti slowly settles on the stage floor, clinging to the siblings, hair and shoulders like proof that this moment is real. The youngest sibling is still crying, her hands trembling as she wipes her tears, unable to believe what has just happened. The eldest helps her stand, his own face wet with emotion, eyes shining under the bright lights. The audience refuses to sit down. Applause fills the hall again and again, louder each time. Chants echo through the room, their names, spoken with admiration instead of doubt. The siblings bow awkwardly, still shy, still humble, but something inside them has changed forever. One judge speaks softly into the microphone, voice breaking. You came here poor in money, but rich in courage, he says. Another judge nods, wiping tears. Tonight, Ireland didn't just hear singers, she adds. We met survivors. The siblings are invited to speak. The eldest struggles to form words. We came from Manila with nothing, he says slowly. We never thought Ireland would listen to us. His voice cracks, and the crowd responds with a wave of cheers and applause. As they walk off the stage, hand in hand, the lights dim behind them. Backstage, they collapse into each other's arms, crying not from fear anymore, but relief. Outside, the cold Irish night waits, but now it feels warmer. The final shot fades between memories of Manila's streets and the golden stage they just stood on. A voiceover whispers, they stepped in shy, and walked out unforgettable. Their journey has only begun, but their lives will never be the same again.